Good morning, y'all. We're going to be in Luke chapter 23. Jesus at this moment is on the cross. He's going to have an interaction with two criminals, which gives us a sense of understanding of how two people often respond to who Jesus really is. Verse 39. Then one of the criminals who were hanged blasphemed him, saying, "If you are the Christ, save yourself and us." But the other answered and rebuked him, saying, "Do you not even fear God, seeing that you are under the same condemnation? If we indeed justly, for we receive the due reward from our deeds, but this man has done nothing wrong." Then he said to Jesus, "Lord, remember me when you come into your kingdom." And Jesus said to him, "Assuredly I say to you, today you will be with me in paradise." So what do we see happens? There's two thieves, two criminals, two people who have crossed lines throughout the entirety of their life, now about to face judgment. Well, they've already faced the judgment the world has to offer, and it's horrible. And they're going to be facing another judgment, one that's going to be far more intense, far more eternal, and two people have two different responses. One of them is going to shake their fist, right? They still look at their situation as being unfair, unjust, and been pushed too far. They're angry, they're bitter, and they're unwilling to yield at all. And then you see the other one that recognizes that there's a greater judgment to come, that truly does have an overwhelming fear of judgment. And did they have the same horrible attitude going through the crime, whatever that was? It doesn't really matter at this point in time, because at the end of their life, they both have a chance, an opportunity to look to the Christ, the Lord, that is being crucified between the two of them. What one of them understood was to be incredibly unjust. The other one wanted to just kind of throw it in Jesus' face. "Oh, if you're the Christ, yeah, right." And so what do we see? The one man who does fear God asked Jesus if he would remember him. Why would Jesus remember him? And when he enters into his kingdom, why would he care? That's one of those things. And this guy is just no good on this earth. He probably was better off to go face eternal judgment if we were to actually look at it. It seems like he had crossed some lines that were demanding of the death penalty, and that was not something that the Romans took very lightly. And why would Jesus remember him? Well, we get to see something that is very important, that there is no way that we could ever go too far. There is no sin that ever crosses a line that's beyond that which is saving. At those moments, when Jesus was hanging on a cross, he had died for every bit of the sin which these men had committed. The ones that were caught and the ones that were not seen by man, but rather seen by God. He understood what it was to be a criminal. And to bear the shame, to bear the bitterness, to bear perhaps even some of the other things that happened to these men earlier on in life that led them to a life of crime and all those things, because he bore the sin of every single one of those sins done against them and done by them. And so when this man cries out, what do we see? We see a God who loves mercy. We see a God who loves grace. We see a God who says, who can truly save someone whose heart is right, who fears the Lord, who desires to repent, even if it's in those final moments of life. And yes, there it is, a criminal on a cross who receives grace from a holy and mighty God. Ultimately, when he dies, we get to see, yes, he will be in paradise with the Lord after death. And the only one who could ever offer that is Jesus Christ. Nobody else could. It would be false. It would be fake. It would be a lie. How do we know this is the truth? Is that Jesus rose from the dead. Nobody else has done that. That basically said, "I will lay my life down, and I will also give it. I will take it back up." That he will raise from the dead after giving his own life. And so, what do we see from this? A couple things. One, You keep praying for your loved ones, right? Even at the very end, there's an opportunity for them to have a softened heart and experience the power of salvation up to the very last breath. What's the other thing? Maybe you're listening and you feel like you've done something. You've gone too far. There's no way God would possibly be able to look upon you or desire to have a relationship with you. That's just not the truth. The gospel says that, yeah, you were a sinner. But the good news is that he took on every bit of your sin. He became sin, period, in its fullness, bore the wrath eternally for which we were supposed to bear, and ultimately gave us an opportunity, just like the thief on a cross, or that criminal, to be ultimately saved. I pray that you would understand that you would see that. And then also, probably a third thing, is that we would also operate in the same way. If somebody comes to us and they are desiring for forgiveness, that we would be able to look beyond the action done and beyond the punishment that's necessary, and operate in a place where we would honor the Lord by loving mercy as much as he loved mercy for that criminal on a cross. I love you guys. God bless y'all.